The Mario movie looks like it is going to be filled with different characters, enemies, and cameos throughout the Mario franchise, and I cannot wait to see who else is going to be added into this film. But we have already seen so many enemies and characters already. It's quite a lot. So today, I'm going to talk about every single character that they've shown off or even hid in every single scene that could be in this movie. So if you're excited to see every character revealed so far for the Mario movie, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to stay up to date on all things Mario movie and all things Nintendo in general. Now, let's jump into the video. Now, let's start off with our first 6 characters. Of course, we have Mario and his brother Luigi, the villain Bowser, we have Donkey Kong joining the roster, Princess Peach, and of course, Toad, which is pretty cool. Now, we're not going to count every single Toad because that would be insane. But these are our first 6 main characters that we know are in this movie. Number 7, we have Kamek, which is going to be Bowser's number 1 in command. He is probably going to be the one ruling over the army and telling everybody where to go, and also just being that magic wielder for Bowser. Number 8, we have the Penguins. I'm just going to put them all in one group of characters. You have the king and the rest of the Penguins for the kingdom, wherever they're from. But yeah, the Penguins from Mario 64, then they returned in Mario Galaxy. So yeah, just pretty much the Mario Penguins here. It's really cool to see them return, even though they get wiped out pretty quickly. Now we move on to Bowser's actual army, and we have a couple of Koopa Troopas. Now we're not going to go through each color, but each main type, yeah, we're going to count them. So we have red/green regular Koopa Troopas and the army holding spears. We have Paratroopas, which is completely different, and we have this brand new blue spiked shell Paratroopa, which is really cool as well, because we've never seen something like this within the Mario games. We've seen the blue shell in Mario Kart, but we've never seen it actually belong to a specific Koopa Troopa in Bowser's army. Next up, digging into Bowser's army, we found an enemy that can date all the way back to Super Mario World, and those are the bats from that game and all the other Mario games called the Swoops. It's really cool to see them return. I don't know how much of a threat they're going to pose. I think they're just kind of there for, you know, stylized effect for Bowser's castle. I don't think they're necessarily meant to be an enemy that attacks Mario. I could be wrong, but yeah, they're there for sure. Now here we get a look at a lot more enemies. We have a piranha plant in the background coming in to eat some food off of the table. We also have a Sledge Bro, which is a giant version of the Hammer Bro and a lot heavier. And right beside him, yep, that's not a Koopa Troopa. Look at the helmet. That's actually a Hammer Bro, which is really cool that they're returning in this movie as well. Continuing on, we have a Bob-omb being tossed in between the 2 Koopa Troopas, so I hope they don't just blow up and die for good in this movie like Bobby from Paper Mario, because that would kind of be sad. But then we also have Shy Guys in this movie as well at the bottom part of the screen, and someone else that I'll get to in a second. Number 18, we have a stack of Goombas. Yes, Goombas had to return because they're just a staple enemy. It just wouldn't make sense if they didn't return. Here's a couple that I missed within my first analysis. So there are 2 Buzzy Beetles standing on top of each other right behind the limbo of Koopa Troopas, which is really cool to see them return as well. The second shelled creature we have is a Spiny. You can see the little tail and the feet, and it's running away from the Shy Guys, and once again, another enemy that I'm not going to talk about yet, but you can see actual like little plushies or something stuck to its spikes, where it looks like the Shy Guys are chasing him in order to get it back. 21, we have Dry Bones chasing Luigi. They have new red beady eyes, which makes them look even creepier than before, and they're just very persistent this time around. I mean, they're chasing Luigi with no limbs at all, which is definitely scary. I love their new portrayal. Bringing in 2 more enemies, we have the Bramballs from New Super Mario Bros. U, and of course the Bitty Buds from Super Mario 3D Land and 3D World. It's great to see these enemies back because they're kind of obscure, not as much the Bitty Bud anymore. They're kind of appearing in everything. They even have their own cart in Mario Kart 8, so it's really cool to see at least the Bramball back, but they don't seem to be working for Bowser's army. They just kind of walking through the forest, and then we can see in the trailer like the Bramball just kind of stepping over top of Mario as he's walking by. Number 24, we see Cheep Cheeps return. Once again, they don't look like they're working for Bowser, just kind of jumping throughout the water as like wildlife in this movie, which is really cool. But yep, Cheep Cheep are returning. Another part of Bowser's army which is very important are the Bullet Bills. We can see a practice one-shot at Mario from Princess Peach's obstacle course, but we know that they're going to be in the movie and that Bowser's going to use them because we actually see another version later on, the Bonsai Bill, not just in the practice range, but actually chasing Tanuki Mario through a river. We then have one of our last members of Bowser's army that we've seen so far, and that is a Sniffet. This was actually very surprising to me because I didn't think we'd see something like this, and especially any subcon enemies from Mario Bros. 2 is very interesting to me, and I like how they just kind of threw them into Bowser's army like they've always been there, because to me, they still feel like they're always part of Bowser's army first. But yeah, I'm just really glad they're there too. Very rare enemy in my opinion, and one I am just very glad is in this movie. Now, like I said before, I'm not going to count all the toads, but maybe the different types of toads I'm going to count. So for instance, we have one type of toad at the table here, and these seem to be the higher ups. They're wearing different clothes. They have like a little cloak over them with a nice little bow tie, which means they're probably more important. We then have the regular toads, which are like the townsfolk of the Mushroom Kingdom. They're just there to live and enjoy life, and they definitely don't want to do any fighting, as you saw in the trailer. Then we have guard toads, which have helmets and halberds in their hands. Trust me, I can hear you guys already. Nintendo Land, are you really going to count item power-ups as separate characters in this movie? Why, yes, I am. Because if Mario Kart 8 Deluxe can do it with its character roster, so can I. So we have Fire Peach, obviously designed after her in-game model with that white and red dress, like a game like Mario 3D World. It's really cool to see this in the movie. Number 33, we have Tanuki Mario, getting that super leaf and giving him his super Tanuki suit, looking all fuzzy and furry as he's flying through the air like a super fast helicopter. I love this. It actually makes it look even more action-packed than the games actually make this out to be. He's not just floating, he's flying. Okay, so for the next 5, we have Black Yoshi, Pink Yoshi, Red... No, I'm just playing it. We just have Yoshi. It's really cool to see all the different colored Yoshis on their little island. It's just so beautiful to look at, and I really hope we just get the main green Yoshi. We don't see any green Yoshis within this trailer, so maybe that's why they're saving that one for Mario. But yeah, he will definitely be a character of his own if we do get that one main Yoshi. Moving on to the Donkey Kong side of things, we get to see Cranky Kong, which is really cool. He seems to be the leader of the apes this time around, and maybe Donkey Kong being the successor with the throne right beside him. Now, there are Kongs that look like Swanky Kong and Wrinkly Kong, but I can't count them because it's not confirmed right now, and there's too many other versions of them in the crowd. It's impossible to say if that's just them alone, even though I am going to give leeway to one later on in this video. But the ones that we can confirm right now is Diddy Kong and Dixie Kong. They're both exactly identical to the way they look in the games, and they're sitting right beside Cranky Kong in that Donkey Kong poster. So I am glad that the core Kong family is there. And then one of the final scenes, this has to be Funky Kong. I mean, it doesn't have to be. It could just be another monkey with just shades on and also what looks like a do-rag. But there's also lots of other apes with shades on as well, so it's hard to tell. But a lot of people seem to think that this very well could be Funky Kong. And I do not know if this is Kiddy Kong or not. I don't think it's Kiddy Kong. It can't be, right? It can't be. And then finally, our final character we have is Pauline herself. She seems to be the mayor of New York's Brooklyn, which is really exciting. And she has the same kind of business suit outfit that she has in Mario Odyssey. It's really cool to see her in this movie, and it's just exciting to see her as part of the real world again. And finally, I still think this is the clown car. I don't care, we can fight to the very end. There's no reason for this thing to have angry eyes and a face. It has the same colorway with the propellers at the bottom. I'm telling you, this just has to be the clown car. I will continue to fight for this. Even if I'm wrong, this has to be. It just looks like it. And anyways, is the clown car a character? I know it sometimes has emotion. Is that based on the user? I don't care, we're gonna add them. Number 40. So that was 40 characters confirmed or kind of confirmed to be within this Mario movie throughout the trailer so far. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If there were any other characters or enemies or anything else that you would like to add, make sure you comment them down below. And thank you so much for tuning in. If you liked the video, leave a like and subscribe to stay up to date on all things Mario movie and Nintendo in general. And like always, I'll see you all in the next one. See you guys.